Alright, so now let's talk about the another method for depreciation, which is the what we call the sinking fund method. So, ano pong fund method is a method which assumes that the sinking fund established in which funds will accumulate for replacement. So from this word, no, mga funds established in which funds will accumulate for replacement. So the total depreciation that has been taken place up to any given time is assumed to be equal to the accumulated amount in the sinking fund at any time. So just like the straight line method depreciation, so say depreciation 1 equals depreciation 2 equals M equals L is equal to the depreciation. So the depreciation would just be equal to the first cost minus the salvage value, multiply it to I, okay, times or divided by 1 over I, 1 plus I raised to the power of L, in which L is the useful life in years, minus 1. Okay, and we have dm, but dm is equal to md. So dm is equal to d over I times 1 plus I raised to the power of m minus 1. So these are the formulas that you need to take note, no? And dl would just be equal to d over I times 1 plus I raised to the power of L minus 1, in which dL is the total depreciation at the end of its useful life, and dm is the total depreciation of a property at any time, m. So, that's it. So, sa sinking fund method, mo na siya ang examples natin. I will be giving you 3 examples for this method. And for example number one is given the first cost, which is 100,000, the salvage value, which is 10,000, and L is equal to 10 years. Okay, so we also have I, or the rate, which is the 5%. So the question is, what is the annual depreciation? So what is D? Okay, so for us to find D, we have this formula, remember? D is equal to FC minus SB times I over 1 plus I raised to the power L minus 1. So for us not to forget it, that, let's write D is equal to FC minus SB over times I, over 1 plus I raised to the power of L minus 1. Okay, so but before that, yeah, here is already the given, not the given day. So we have FC, which is 100,000, minus salvage value, which is 10,000. The rate is 5%, so that would be 0.05, all over 1 plus 0.05 raised to the power of L, in which ang atong L is 10 years minus 1. So using our calculators, we can find the depreciation value as 7,155 pesos, 0.41. But if you're going to use your calculators, no, napaka-exact value. So this is your, approximately, this is your answer. Approximately 7,155.41. Okay, so question letter B is to find the book value after 3 years. So si book value po natin is si, di ba, BVM. So BVM, kaganina, ang formula na gi-show, I mean sa tong first part sa video about depreciation, which is depreciation under the straight line method, and I've discussed or introduced depreciation in the first part of the video, in which ang book value or the BVM is just equivalent to the first cost minus DM. And we do not know DM yet. And DM here is this one, the total depreciation of property at any time, in which ang formula nato is DM is equal to T over I times 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1. So that would be BV at 3 years is equal to FC minus D3 that is equal to 100,000 pesos minus D over I. So first cost nato is 100,000, right? Minus D over I sa itong D. D nato is 7,155.41 all over. I nato is 0.05. Okay. Times, wait lang, medyo sakto. Times our 1 plus I. So, ano man na siyang formula, di ba? dm is equal to d over I times 1 plus I raised to the power of m minus 1. Okay? So, 1 plus 0.05. Ang m na to is to the power of 3 minus 1. Power of 3 kay 3 years man, right? So BV, or the book value at 3 years, will just be equal to, done. Okay, so, ay, darating. 77,442.56 pesos. So that's the book value after 3 years. Now, the question, letter C, is to find the book value after 8 years. So, what's ang book value niya after 8 years? So, just change 3 to 8, no? So, for letter C, BV at 8 is equal to FC minus dm nato. Again, ang dm is d over I times 1 plus I raised to the power of m minus 1. So, that is BV, or the book value after 8 years, is 100,000 minus D over I. So, atong D, that's 7,155.41 divided by, our I is 0.05 times 1 plus our I, which is 0.05. However, ang ato ang M diri is 8 na minus 1. Okay? So, using our calculators, we can find the book value at 8 years as 31,672.21. And that's approximately that. No? Kasi I instructed you to include all the decimal places in the calculators. So starting diri pa lang, dapat all the decimal numbers. Dili sa ta mag-round off until the final answer. So BV8 is equal to pesos 31,672.21 pesos. And that is your final answer. That is for example number 1. Okay? For example number 2, all right. So example number 2, we are going to analyze. So an equipment, another equipment na 100,000 pesos. So muna siya ang first cost by 100,000 pesos. So na po siya salvage value na 5,000 pesos. No, at the end of 10 years. So ang L nato diha is 10 years. So use sinking fund method, okay, with interest rate of 4%. So I nato is 0.04. Compute the annual, okay, annual depreciation cost. So muna sa tong D. So D is just equivalent to FC minus SV times I all over 1 plus I raised to the power of L minus 1. So natay FC na 100,000 pesos minus ang salvage value nato na 5,000 pesos. Okay? Then, ang ato ang rate, which is 0.04, and then, divided by 1 plus 0.04 raised to the power of L nato, which is 10 minus 1. Okay, so our depreciation, I will now use my calculator. Hold on. So it's 7912.63 pesos. So that is our depreciation. Now, find the book values. Oh, at years 1 to 4. Oh, yeah. So, pat ka katong pangitaon diri sa letter B. Book value 1 is equal to FC minus DM, which is D over I times 1 plus I raised to the power of M minus 1. So that's BV1 is equal to 100,000 minus 7912.639711 all over I, which is 0.04 times 1 plus 0.04 raised to the power of our M here is 1 kasi 1 year pa man. Year 1. Okay? So that is 100,000 minus, i-store na ko sa A. So A over 0.04 times 1 plus 0.04 raised to the power of 1. So, pwede na ko raised to the power of 1. Minus 1. So, that's 92,087.36029. So, that is the book value for year 1. At year 2, equals, same lang gyapon na itong buhaton. So, ilisa na nato siya og raised to the power of 2. So, raised to the power of 2, our BV2 is 83. So, ilisa na naman siya class O. Yan. So, yung i-input sa calculator. So, that's 83,858.21499. That's your BV2. Okay, pag BV3 pod, change pod siya into to the power of 3. So, BV3 is equal to, change lang mo ang M into 3. So, that's 75,299.90388. And our VV4 is equal to 66,399.26032. That is your book value after 4 years. So, BV1, BV2, BV3, and BV4. Muna siya ang gipangita sa letter B. So, that's for example number 2. Okay, let's proceed with the next example, the last example for the sinking fund method. So a plant erected to manufacture socks with a first cost at 10 million, na planta daw, ang first cost sa planta is about 10 million pesos. Socks, manufacture socks. Okay, with an estimated salvage value of 100,000 na lang. So, ang salvage value after 25 years is 100,000. Okay? So 25 years. So find the appraised value to the nearest 100. Appraised value to the nearest 100 by sinking fund method at interest rate na 0.06. Okay, so si letter A, ang atong ginapanghita diri is ang book value at 10. So ano man? Okay, mo man niyo. A to the nearest 100. To the nearest hundreds di ay. So ones, tens, hundreds. Okay. So i-ano daw nato siya. So kanina may na problems class, di na siya required mag whole decimal to the nearest 100 man daw. So ones, tens, hundreds. So two decimal places lang. Okay. So karon BV at M is equal to 10 years. So si A karon ginapangita nato is the appraised value or the book value. Appraised value, book value, basig malibog mo. Unsa man sir, naglahi naman. So pareha na sila, no? So that's FC minus D over I raised to 1 times 1 plus I raised to the power of M minus 1. Okay? So that is, wala pa tay D. No? Di pa nato makuha. Kaya wala pa tay D. So pangitaon sa nato si D or the depreciation. So D is equal to FC minus SV times I all over 1 plus I raised to the power of L minus 1. So therefore, that is 100,000. Ay, 10 million di ay no? 10 million di atong first value minus the salvage value which is 100,000 times I which is 4%, 6% all over 1 plus 0.06 raised to the power of 25 years ang at the end of 35 years manang L na murag life niya. So you have, so that's 180,000 pesos, 444.51. So that is your depreciation value. Now we can find the book or the appraised value after or book after 10 years niya. So BV at 10 is equal to 1 at 10 million minus ang depreciation is 180,444.51 divided by I which is 0.06, di ba? Times 1 plus 0.06, ang M na to is 10 minus 1. Okay? So A ni siya at M equals 10. So B na to, BV at M equals 20 years na po. So si A sa taas. So BV at 10 is equal to approximately to the nearest 100 to the nearest, find the appraised value to the nearest 100. So to the nearest 100, for example, in anim answer, 7,621,597.91. So ones, tens, hundred. So kani i-round off to na to. So mahimo siya og 7,621,600 pesos. No. So mo na siya ang book value for after or the appraised value after 10 years. So kay letter B pod at 20 years, so i-change na nato ning ano diri 10, no? Kay na naman tay B. So sa letter B, BV at 20 years, that's 10 million minus 180,444.51 all over 0.06 times 1 plus 0.06. Okay, dire ang mag-change. 20 years man ang appraised value. Ang M. Ang M nato dire appraised value. So, appraised value 20 years. So, 20 minus 1. Sorry. So, therefore, BV for the book value or appraised value after 20 years, which is rounded to the nearest 100, is kung decimal niya na answer, that's 3,362,242.9. Pero, ones, tens, hundreds, imo na to siya og 3,362,200 pesos. So, ang appraised value after 20 years is this answer. So, that's 3,362,200 pesos. And yeah, that's it for the sinking fund method. Thank you guys for listening to my lecture. I hope to see, or I hope you have learned something this day. Good morning and goodbye.